I have JJ McCarthy on in a half an hour. What do I need to know? What do you think? What's going on there?
It's a fluid conversation right now for the Vikings based on the conversations that I've had. I would fairly say all options are still on the table with Sam Darnold. I do think that the way the season finished and the fact that the last two games did not match up to what they'd seen from Sam Darnold the first 16 games, in a way it might make it easier for the Vikings to potentially do a multi-year deal with Sam Darnold, because the number, you might have a better chance of getting that done closer to the franchise tag number, which is around $40 million. With JJ McCarthy, that is a young player the Vikings think really highly of. And they said it right after he suffered the meniscus injury that led to the surgery that cost him his entire rookie year. They believe in him. He's going to be their franchise quarterback eventually. But there's really no precedent for a rookie quarterback, much less a first-round pick, to miss his entire rookie season, the entire year of reps because of an injury, and then come back and start in week one in year two. Could it happen? Definitely. But I believe that the Vikings have to have some type of a fallback plan, whether that's bringing back Sam Darnold, whether that is re-signing Daniel Jones, which would, in all likelihood, almost certainly be a lesser financial commitment than bringing back Sam Darnold. They're in a really unique spot because you remember, this is a team that won 14 games this year. Sam Darnold's being hoisted on the guy's shoulders in the locker room after that win over Green Bay in Week 17 that sets up the NFC North title game in Detroit. Did not play well in Week 18. They did not play well as a team in the wild card playoff game against the Rams. So what is that number on Sam Darnold? A big part of this is going to be figuring out what's the market out there, for Sam Darnold if he were to hit free agency. And I'm sure that his agents, RJ Gonser and Jimmy Sexton, will have a very good idea of what someone might be willing to pay him. It only takes one team. Last year, the Vikings, it was a different situation, but they were going through a very similar calculus with Kirk Cousins, where it was, all right, we'll pay you right up to here. But at some point, there's a number we're not going to go past because we're not going to be able to put a competitive team around you. It only took one team. There was one bidder for Kirk Cousins. That was the Atlanta Falcons. They paid Kirk Cousins significantly more than what the Vikings were willing to offer, and they let Kirk Cousins go. The biggest difference here, besides the fact that Sam Darnold is a younger player, is the fact that they can use the franchise tag. It's around $40 million. That could lead to Sam Darnold eventually signing a multi-year deal, although that would set the baseline for a multi-year deal, maybe at a higher number the Vikings want to go to. He could play on the tag for a year, or potentially there could be a tag and trade. That's what I mean by all options are on the table. They're still feeling this out. The Vikings are continuing to meet. They're in the early process in terms of their draft evaluations, in terms of potential discussions with other teams. We're not down the road on it just yet, Rich. But in terms of J.J. McCarthy here, the primary questions I'd have for him are just how confident are you that you could go out there and play in week one in 2025? Because, the Vikings have a high degree of confidence in him being the guy eventually here. But week one, with all those missed reps, is that setting him up for success? That's a question they got to ask themselves.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.